Thank you for watching My News 26. I'm Paula Jasper. Today we're in Omena, and joining me is Kay Charter of the nonprofit organization Saving Birds Through Habitat. Thanks for joining me, Kay.
Thank you for coming.
Now, can you start out by telling us about the educational center that you have here?
Yes, this is a building and 3-acre grounds in order to teach people about the importance of native plants and their role in supporting healthy bird habitat.
Now, how long has it been here, and how did it come about?
Well, the building has been here for 12 years, and it came about as a result, if you follow the chain back, it began with an epiphany that I had when we were living in our forever home on Grand Traverse Bay. And I went outside to work on the back of the lot, which we had not cleared, and I watched a family of winter wrens, actually they were carbon copies of their parents, and they were a little plumper than their parents because baby birds are typically larger than their parents when they come out of the nest, kind of baby fat to give them that boost. And I was overjoyed because I love winter wrens. I call them the Mozart of the bird world. They have the most beautiful song that carries, they're tiny little birds, and the song carries right through the forest. And so I was overjoyed at seeing them, and before long, I was really saddened by the fact that they're losing ground, their numbers are declining, and that is really in part due to people like my husband and me who build in their habitat and take away their nesting sites. So I felt the need to do something, and I developed an idea that we would sell this forever home on the water and go inland and buy a big piece of property with varied habitat, which is what we did.
Describe this piece of land to us.
So when we sold our house, we were searching for a piece of property that had various habitats on it. We didn't just want a forest or a field or a wetland. We wanted all of it. So we found this piece of property thanks to a local realtor who asked me when I was coming out of the post office one day, "Have you found your property yet?" "No," but I said, "I'm thinking about this piece over off Attach Road." "Oh," he said, "I have a pocket listing for that." So he brought us out here on the snowiest, coldest day of the year, walked to the top of the hill, and I knew this was the place.
It is beautiful. Now, how many different kinds of species have you spotted here?
We have seen over 160. I'm not a very good lister, so I don't know exactly. But I know that we've had over 60 species nesting here, and we've probably seen at least another 100 passing through on their way north or south to or from their nesting grounds.
Okay, now this is a very active organization. I know that you have a lot of events that are held in here, and also you work with children.
We work with children a lot. That's my number one priority. If we don't teach kids about nature, nobody will take care of it in the future. They have to do it for us. Long before we established Saving Birds Through Habitat, we were working out of kids in our home. I wanted to connect kids with birds and then with the need for their habitat, and so they would become little conservationists.
Now, bird trails are becoming very popular, aren't they?
Bird trails are becoming very popular, and we now have 3 new ones in the state, relatively new, and I'm on a committee that's working on 3 more that will run between Traverse City and the bridge.
Now, give us some idea of some of the species that are some of your favorites.
Well, that's kind of hard. My very, very favorite is probably a bobolink, which is on our logo. It's on my shirt. It's on everything you read about us. That bird used to nest here on our meadow before it was turned into an actual prairie. And we lost that colony probably because they were nesting in poor habitat. There weren't enough native plants. Therefore, there weren't enough insects to bring the young off the nest. So the colony, sadly, probably died out. And now we're working on improving the prairie habitat so that they will come back. And happily, in the last 3 days, I've been hearing bobolinks down in the bottom in that little swale down there.
Now, you mentioned earlier that it's all about the insects.
It's all about the insects. If you ask people what birds need, they'll say, "Oh, yes, I help them. I put seeds out." Well, there are some birds that will eat seeds, and there are birds that will certainly eat suet and take nectar. However, the most important thing, 97% of all terrestrial birds depend to some degree or another on insects, and virtually all of them feed insects to their babies. If you ask any kid from school, what do birds feed their babies? What's the first thing they think of? Robins. And they'll say bugs or worms or something like that. And they are actually right. Probably most adults won't think of that first. So that's the key, is the native plants which support the insects. Non-native plants do not host insects in numbers. Very, very few insects will live on non-native plants. And in fact, the invasives take off because none of the herbivores, including the insects, will eat them.
Explain the white structures behind us.
Yes, these are our chimney swift towers. Chimney swifts are losing ground dramatically, and we were hoping when we put these towers up that we could attract them. Chimney swifts lose their nest sites because they nest in chimneys, as their name suggests, and people don't want raccoons in their living room, so they cap off the chimneys to keep out the raccoons, and that also keeps out the chimney swifts from nesting.
Thanks for joining me, Kay.
Thank you.
Oh, also, how do people get more information?
Oh, if you want to get more information about us, just go on our website, savingbirds.org. We're also on Facebook.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paula, Jasper, -26 in Omina.